of both. So I think it was around 2012 I started doing YouTube, if I remember correctly. So a long time ago now. But I was working as a makeup artist at Chanel's. I saw that YouTube was starting to take off and that there was girls doing makeup tutorials on YouTube. And I was like, this is really interesting. I could do this. I loved giving women on counter that kind of confidence, like the way they would walk off the counter, like they'd be feeling like $1 million. YouTube wasn't as saturated back then as it is now. So I think I was really lucky I got in at the right time when there was a lot of makeup artists on there, but it still kind of like it hadn't blown up yet. I just started plugging away at that. And I knew that the girls were making money and I was like, I don't really like working for other people. I like to choose my own schedule. I like to be my own boss. I like to have time freedom. So I was like, if I can do this and share my knowledge and make money, that would be a win-win. I definitely pivoted my content. So I started off doing makeup tutorials, but then there's only so many makeup tutorials you can do over the years before it just gets boring. And I kind of lost passion for it, but I do love to talk and I am very opinionated and I love to deep dive on subjects. So I was like, why don't I just start talking about things that I find interesting, and it kind of blew up from there.
You've been quite candidly open about, how you feel about certain things, and you're just being yourself, and that's all that really matters in life. We just got to be ourselves continuously and keep showing up for ourselves authentically. Because once we start becoming impersonators of something that we're not, I think that's when we start to lose ourselves.
Yes. And I feel like people can always tell when you're not being yourself or when you're not being authentic or when you're trying to be someone else. I feel like people can tell, like, intuitively when you're not being yourself.
If a young girl is listening to this, what would you tell her not to pay too much attention to online?
I think it's like really easy to get sucked into the perfectionism, like speaking as an influencer or content creator and as a person that views other people's content, because you do want to put your best foot forward online because you know there's going to be how many people seeing it, people you don't know, people you do know. So obviously you want to look good on social media. I think that's fair enough. For young girls who don't really know about this stuff, they think that what they're seeing online is reality and not an illusion. And the fact of the matter is that it's not real. I just want like young girls, especially if they are kind of consuming this kind of stuff on social media, to know in the back of their minds, this is not reality. This is like filtered perfection, and nobody, like myself included, looks as good in real life as they do online, because it's so easy to like manage things and change things. But I'd say off camera, I spend my time, I've got 2 young boys, so I'm mum life most of the time. I love cooking meals from scratch. I'm doing the school run or park dates. I'm also currently working on building a cosmetic line with my business partner Yasmin. So if I'm not working on YouTube content or cooking or cleaning up my kids' mess or being a mum, then I'm working on that.
Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of Zen and Now, the space where presence means purpose and real stories leads to deeper connection. Today I'm joined by someone whose voice has reached millions, but today we're turning into the one behind the camera. Stephanie Lange is a powerhouse content creator, makeup artist, and thought leader who's used her platform not only to transform faces, but to challenge beauty norms, speak truth into taboo topics, and empower women to embrace who they are inside and out. This conversation goes beyond the highlight reel into healing identity and unseen parts of growth. So let's dive in. Welcome to the show, Stephanie.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Thank you for taking the time out, and I appreciate you coming onto the show to share your insights.
Oh, no, I'm honored. I'm looking forward to it.
Amazing. So, Stephanie, tell us, who is Stephanie behind off the camera?
So I'd say I'm pretty much the same off camera as I am on camera. But I'd say off camera, I spend my time, I've got 2 young boys, so I'm mum life most of the time. I love cooking meals from scratch. I'm doing the school run or park dates. I'm also currently working on building a cosmetic line with my business partner Yasmin. So if I'm not working on YouTube content or cooking or cleaning up my kids' mess or being a mum, then I'm working on that. So life is very hectic at the moment, but it's good hectic.
Yeah, they always say those kind of hectic schedules are always purposeful because you're doing something that you love.
Yes, very true.
Yeah. When did YouTube become something that you you thought, okay, this could be something that would really take off, or was it something that you just did for your own uh, purpose?
A bit of both. So I think it was around 2012 I started doing YouTube, if I remember correctly. So a long time ago now. But I was working as a makeup artist at Chanel, so I was on counter doing makeup. I was the head makeup artist for that counter, and I was doing women's makeup every day. So all different skin tones, different skin types, different face shapes, and hooded eyes and big eyes. And I saw that YouTube was starting to take off and that there was girls doing makeup tutorials on YouTube. And I was like, this is really interesting. I could do this. And I love helping women feel good about themselves by using makeup because it's such a great tool that everyone can use. And it gives you a little bit of control over how you look and how you present yourself to the outside world. And so I loved giving women on counter that kind of confidence, like the way they would walk off the counter, like they'd be feeling like $1,000,000. And I was like, if I could just kind of harness this and use the tips that I know and reach more people that don't have the chance to walk into my counter and have their makeup done by me, then I'll give it a go and I'll try that. So I just started doing makeup tutorials. And honestly, YouTube wasn't as saturated back then as it is now. So I think I was really lucky I got in at the right time when there was a lot of makeup artists on there, but it's still kind of like it hadn't blown up yet. Like the era of the beauty guru wasn't really a thing yet. So I just started plugging away at that. And I knew that the girls were making money. And I was like, I don't really like working for other people. Like I loved being a makeup artist, but I like to choose my own schedule. I like to be my own boss. I like to have time freedom. So I was like, if I can do this and share my knowledge and make money, that would be a win-win. So I was like, if I can make as much money on YouTube as I am working my full-time job, then I'll quit my full-time job and pursue YouTube full-time. And I think that happened within about a year or two, maybe a year and a half. And I've just been doing it ever since.
That's amazing. I mean, you found your passion really early on. I think most people don't actually find it until they quite later on in life. Like I myself, you have it, it's somewhere within yourself, your calling, but it's just sometimes when your penny drops a little later, and for you, it probably dropped when, you really knew this is the kind of work that I want to do. And it, I think I went through I researched your page, your YouTube page, and you're like almost 10 plus years now.
Yeah. Crazy.
Wow.
It doesn't feel like it's been that long. Time flies.
Yeah. And like just like the content shifted like from beauty makeup all to like what's relevant or what's not working right now. So you've shifted your focus from, just from personal experiences to now how can we, start improving our image in society. And I think that's commendable because it's so much needed now in this day and age. And I think that's why your content is so relevant, because a lot of people are attracted to authenticity.
Mm-hmm. I like to think that people think I'm authentic. I think I'm authentic, but it's always hard to know how you come across like on screen to other people, because in reality, I'm just literally sat here in my little studio speaking to myself essentially, which is kind of awkward, but you do get used to it after a while. But how you speak to a camera is very different to how you would speak to an actual human being in real life. So I always try and make sure that I'm imagining that I'm speaking to my audience, and that makes it a lot more personable. And I feel like I can be more authentic that way. But yeah, I definitely pivoted my content. So I started off doing makeup tutorials, but then there's only so many makeup tutorials you can do over the years before it just gets boring. And I kind of lost passion for it. Like I love doing people's makeup in real life, but I lost the passion for doing makeup tutorials on myself. So then I kind of was a little bit lost. I was like, what do I do? So I started doing vlogs, and then I had my kids and I don't show them online. So I was like, vlogs aren't going to work anymore. And vlogging wasn't really my thing anyway. But I do love to talk and I am very opinionated and I love to deep dive on subjects. So I was like, why don't I just start talking about things that I find interesting? And it kind of blew up from there. And honestly, my channel's never been doing better. And I really enjoy it because it's kind of meaty. Like I can actually deep dive onto a topic. So it's interesting for me when I'm in the planning stage of making the video. And then I love to see the response it gets. Sometimes it goes awfully. Sometimes it goes really well. And like everyone agrees with me. But it's interesting.
Yeah. What drew you to makeup? What was the of that visual perception? Was it something you struggle with yourself, or like some personal image that you struggle with?
Yeah, definitely. So when I when I was a young child, I was the most confident girl ever. Like I'm a Leo, so I love to perform. I love to be the center of attention. And then when I was about 12, I think it was, I got what my GP thought was like really bad acne all over my face. So my face just was like super red. I had like these whiteheads all over my face. I was like, what the hell? And so my GP put me on Roaccutane, which is like this super strong acne drug twice, which is really hard on your liver. Like it's not great to take, but it's very effective.
Yeah.
But I know now that I didn't actually have acne at all. It was rosacea type 2, which I still have to this day. But that was kind of the first nosedive that my self-confidence took. And also when you're that age, I feel like you haven't really grown into your look. So I remember thinking my nose was way too big for the rest of my face. And like I do have like a decently sized nose, but when I was younger, it did look, I felt like it looked really out of proportion. But like other people would back me up on that. So like I'd go to school and the kids would be like, oh my God, Stephanie's so ugly. And like none of the boys would fancy me and people would like tease me and mock me and tell me I was ugly. So you really do take those things on board when you're that age and it kind of shapes how you see yourself. But I never like staying in that mentality. So I was like, okay, what can I do to make myself feel better and kind of take some control over my appearance? And that's when I kind of found makeup. And to be honest, I did love makeup before that as well. When I was a little girl, my mum doesn't wear very much makeup at all, but her friends would wear makeup and I still have their makeup from the 90s today. Like they would give me their cast-offs and I would play with the blue eyeshadow from the 90s and these horrible like orange red lipsticks, and they're obviously off, but I keep them because it's like so sentimental. But I loved the creativity of it and I loved how I used to do like these fake freckles on my nose, which I still do to this day when I was in high school, because I was like, it makes the bridge of my nose look smaller and I feel more confident. And just these little tricks you can do with makeup to harness what you have and hide maybe what makes you insecure. But then at the end of the day, it washes off and you still have like your natural features that were handed down to you from your ancestors, which I really like. Like you don't have that with plastic surgery. So it's just, I think it's a great tool that we can use. And that's why I got into it. And that's why I love it so much.
Yeah. I mean, given that we are in the space of Instagram now, social media, everyone is so plugged in. How do you, if a young girl is listening to this, what would you tell her not to pay too much attention to online?
I think it's like really easy to get sucked into the perfectionism, like speaking as an influencer or content creator and as a person that views other people's content, because you do want to put your best foot forward online because you know there's going to be how many people seeing it, people you don't know, people you do know. So obviously you want to look good on social media. I think that's fair enough. But the fact of the matter is, and actually the video I'm filming today is on TikTok, and like, I feel like at this point, everyone knows you can use filters for your face. You can Photoshop your face in pictures. You can use Facetune, do all the things to change your face. But there's actually body filters that are really, really good now that actually slim your waist and make your hips look bigger.
I've seen
really
those.
change the shape of your body. But they're so clever. They're so good. So they don't even like obviously bend the wall behind you now. So like, unless you really know what you're looking for and the filter glitches or something like that, like you don't know if what you're looking at is real or an illusion. And I say that as someone, I think that I have a really good eye for this kind of thing because I'm in the industry. Whereas for young girls who don't really know about this stuff, they think that what they're seeing online is reality and not an illusion. And the fact of the matter is that it's not real. Like we don't, unfortunately, have filters following us around in day-to-day life. We don't have the perfect lighting. Like sunlight is harsh on the face. So like what I look like in real day-to-day life in the sunlight with my makeup on versus what I look like on YouTube with a full face of makeup are two very different things. But I just want like young girls, especially if they are kind of consuming this kind of stuff on social media, to know in the back of their minds, this is not reality. This is like filtered perfection, and nobody, like myself included, looks as good in real life as they do online because it's so easy to like manage things and change things.
Yeah, no, 100%. You make an important point there. And I mean, youngsters, even adults are so perceptive. I mean, even adults are falling into the trap of, the false narrative of what is reality on social media. I think some parts of, I think myself was as well. Sometimes you feel, inadequate because you see all these, all these perfectionist people out there some of it is not even real.
Yeah.
It's
I say
probably just
most of the time
staged
it's not real.
just
It's
to
all angles and lighting and
yeah,
filters.
exactly. And stages, I saw
Mm.
those ones where they hire those private jets and they just film a short clip to enhance. Oh, this is my brand and this is the kind of lifestyle I live. But it's so
Mm.
dangerous because it leads down the path of wanting more all the time or wanting to
Yeah.
live an unrealistic lifestyle,
Mhm.
or when you know yourself you cannot sustain
Yeah.
because it's not your reality.
Yeah.
And I feel it's important, like for influencers and people like yourself who are now advocating and bringing up to the surface the dangers of of what not to not what not to do, basically,
Mm.
and just educating. Like I say, educate, and it's so important. And I commend you for doing that. It's not easy.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know if what I'm doing is educating. Like I feel a bit like pompous if I say that I'm educating people because I'm like, who am I to educate anyone? Except on
Well,
makeup.
I've looked at your content, and so much of it I've learned from it already
Oh,
because
really?
I
That's
wouldn't have
good.
known. No, exactly. I wouldn't have known certain type of body or what a body full is or something, because it's interesting to
Mm.
know if you come across somebody who wants to go down that path. You can also then you can advise, hey, you know what, this is the dangers of it.
Mm.
Obviously, people have freedom of choice; they can do whatever they
Mhm.
want. But obviously, you can advise, hey, you know what, these are the side effects, these are the dangers.
Yeah.
I can take you. Taking you to the water. How you drink is up to you.
Yeah, very true. And I feel like I've kind of like become the poster girl for like anti-filler and Botox at the moment, which I actually don't want to be, and I didn't really intend to do because I feel like there's a lot of nuance in this topic, but I kind of just like to put across the information, and then people can take that information that they might not have known otherwise, and then they can make an informed decision if that's the route they want to go down, or maybe it's not the route that they actually want to go down. I feel like that's what I want to do, just put both sides of an argument, and then people are free to make their own decisions.
Hmm. Yeah. And how do you handle trolls?
Oh God.
The negative impact.
Not very well, if I'm honest. I need to get better at this, but I'm like, in some ways, I'm a really tough person, and like a lot of things don't get to me, or if they do get to me, I get over them quickly. But then I'm also very sensitive. So if I've put in like 2 weeks worth of like full-time work on a piece of content, and then the comments I get are just like attacking me or my appearance or me as a person, I'm like, but you don't even know me. So like how can you possibly be judging me as a person when you're judging me off a 20-minute YouTube video on a particular topic? But like they'll call you by your name, so it feels more like they know you, and then I feel like maybe I am an asshole, but I know I'm not.
Yeah.
um but I'm not very good with dealing with it. And sometimes when it all piles up, or if you're already having a bad day, or you're already dealing with like external stresses, seeing like a barrage of negative comments directed at you, it can really bring you down and make you feel like really shit about yourself. And so that's when I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I need to get off the internet, shut my laptop down. My phone's going on airplane. I'm going to go hang out with my friends because the majority of my friends aren't on social media at all. Like they do not give a shit. And so when I hang out with them, I'm just me, and it's very grounding. And then all this like online stuff just kind of blurs into the background. But I feel like it's very easy to get sucked into the whole online world, and it's really unhealthy for your mental health. Um, I tend to not really go through my YouTube comments very much these days because people on YouTube are essentially anonymous, and the stuff they say to you is just so outrageous and so
Right. Yeah.
nasty, and there's no need for it. Whereas on Instagram, I feel like because you're not as anonymous, people are much kinder.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. My next question to you was going to be, how do you stay grounded away from the negativity? And you just explained it, like you said, you turn your laptop off, airplane mode, and you spend time with your friends and just away from the digital noise. And that's a good
Yeah,
thing. Anything else
yeah.
that you do to stay grounded?
Yeah, I love to go for walks. So I'll like put a podcast on, like on any topic that I'm currently like that's relevant to my life, or I'll put on some angry music. I love like Guns N' Roses, Led Zeppelin, like classic rock because I find it really
Awesome.
cathartic. And I'll just go for a walk, and it kind of just clears your head, gets your body moving, it gets you away from like social media and the computer, and it just brings you back to reality.
Yeah, music is such a powerful tool
Yes, absolutely.
to
I
bring
feel
you
like
back
music is
to.
what got me through my childhood.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it did for me too, because
Mm.
I think growing up as well, I was objected to bullying, and physical appearance, taunts, and name calling, all of those things. And then when I listen to music, it just put me in a different space. I think I forgot about everything.
Yeah, because it's like you can relate to the music and find people, like your people almost, in these musicians.
Yeah,
Really good.
exactly. Yeah. I mean, I myself, back then, electronic music wasn't so commercialized as it is now. It was more of the pureness, the drop, the up and the down, and how you feel. And just the other day, there was a DJ who played a mix, and it took me back to my childhood days when I first started falling in love with the genre.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I reached out. I mean, I sent a comment. I put in a comment. I was like, "Thank you for creating this, because you took me back to a space when I fell in love with the genre of music. Even till today, I still go back to my classics, and it's just different now. The sound is different, and it's similar to like what you were saying. Music it's like cathartic. It brings you back to a space where you feel, okay, I can go again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It kind of like
You know what I'm saying?
strengthens you. Yeah.
Yeah, especially when something I like to share with you, because I think it's important that you know who I am as well. Is when I struggle, not anymore. I think I'm getting to a good space, but anxiety is a big part of my being,
Mm-hmm.
and I accept that. Very
Yeah.
anxious person.
You and me both.
Uh, at one point in my life, I think 2019, it led me down to a very dark path. Just making a lot of mistakes, stepping outside of bounds of my marriage, and something within me just shut down. I went into a depressional state, being institutionalized for 2 weeks, and then actually that was like 6 months before actually leaving for my home country of South Africa to come to Canada. So there's a lot going on at the time, but music was the one thing that kept me grounded as well. It brought me back to a little bit of a safe space. And you know, if anybody's listening to this, I think they will attest to that. Whatever genre of music you listen to, if you just put on your song, you immediately start feeling better.
Yeah, very true. Very true. I think we all have that kind of playlist that just makes you feel a little bit better and kind of like uplifts you. I have different playlists for every mood that I've kind of curated, and it definitely helps.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm sure your boys also and your family, your family life keep you busy as well.
Oh, very busy. Too busy.
If you don't mind me asking, what's the age gap between your boys?
3 years.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
so
they're full.
They're growing up together.
They are, and they fight a lot. I feel like everything is a fight.
Nice. I guess they're just learning and bonding. I think that's how boys bond.
Maybe. I'm hoping that when they're older, they'll be great friends. But I feel like right now, like the younger one irritates the older one, and the older one just wants to do his thing, but the younger one wants to get involved, and it's like,
Yeah. What parts of your story haven't been, portrayed online and you keep close to your heart that you like to share?
Probably most of it, I'd say. So I feel like I do share a lot online, or I used to share more. But I think as you get older, like you kind of keep your life a bit more private. So, I mean, there's a lot that I don't share online. Like I didn't have an easy upbringing. I didn't have an easy childhood. And I won't share a lot of that because it involves other people or it's just too personal to share to online. Like there's no need for that kind of thing. But it definitely shapes, I think, who I am as a person. And I always try and find the silver lining in life. So I'm like, okay, my childhood was pretty shit, but it's taught me resilience. It's taught me how to stand on my own 2 feet and not to rely on anyone else. So I do feel like it had some benefits, if you want to look at it that way. But it's also the kind of thing where it's like you do take that trauma into your adult life as well. So it's kind of the thing that I'm always constantly working through.
Yeah. If you don't mind asking, which decade were you born?
I was born in 88.
Oh, okay. So it's the same era as me.
How old are you?
I'm 40. I was born in 85.
Yeah, basically same age.
Yeah. It's so interesting that you say that because we've been having these discussions with just peers and colleagues and family, and our generation is kind of like breaking down a lot of those generational traumas. And funny enough, today I was just having a chat with a colleague, and I said to her, um, we have now the opportunity to correct our parents' mistakes.
Yeah. Or try to anyway.
It
That's
doesn't
something.
sound nice. Yeah, it doesn't sound
Yes.
right, but
I think it has to be done though, and I'm very wary with my kids. Like I don't want to be like my parents, and they did the best they could do, but that's not how I want to raise my kids. So I'm like very conscious. Like sometimes I'll say something and I'm like, I am my mother. So I need to like kind of course correct and just be my own self and like raise them the way I want to raise them, not the way that I was raised.
yeah. I mean, we take the good parts as well. It's just deconstructing and the stuff that, we kind of questioning now, which they didn't.
Mm.
And I think it's also a bit uncomfortable on their end because they aren't able to also answer it because they feel, as parents, you want to have all the answers all the time. You just don't want to seem as if though, oh, I don't know. Because then sometimes you feel as if though your fear will then filter down to your kids and then they'll take that onto your, but it's an interesting discussion because that's why these kind of topics are important because we need to people need to understand that it's only to improve yourself, nobody else. And if it does help somebody else, that's a win.
Yeah. I think you can't really help other people unless you do the inner work yourself as well.
Yeah. Any part of that inner work that you're still working through right now?
All of it, I'd say. I'm definitely a work in progress. I'm definitely better like mentally than I used to be, but I think that comes with like age and wisdom as well. I think the more you know, the more you know. And I did do therapy for like many, many years. And honestly, I didn't find it for myself to be that helpful. Like I still do it now, but I feel like there's a lot of other modalities that help as well. Like just, I love researching different topics. I love learning for myself about different things that I might have gone through like in my past or experiences I've had, and just kind of taking that power back into my own two hands and not outsourcing it as much or like relying on other people to make me feel better. And I love ChatGPT. I know this is probably like controversial, but I bloody love it. Like it's just such a good sounding board. And like like you said, you're anxious. I'm very anxious. And so I'll now go on to ChatGPT and like speak to my little robot, and it really does help.
Yeah. I think those are the positive side of AI.
Yes. Yeah, I haven't really used AI for anything else, but I do love ChatGPT.
Yeah. What are your perceptions of AI
to be honest,
into the beauty space?
I haven't really like done much research into it. I know there's like really dodgy aspects of it, and they can like take your image and they can like make you say and do things that you haven't said or done. I think it's really dangerous for children, which is part of the reason I keep my kids extremely offline, like they're not on there. And I kind of wish more parents would do that, but everyone is free to make their own decisions on what they think is best for their family and their kids. But it is like, it's a bit scary. I'm always really polite to my ChatGPT robot, just in case I do take over the world. I want her to remember, I think she's a her, that I was kind.
Yeah, I think it will.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
It's only as kind as the input that you give it.
Yeah, she's like.
I mean, I use it too. I mean, we have got to use it.
Yes, I think so, and I think that's kind of the way
it's intuitive as well.
Yeah. I wish I could use it for work. Everyone's like, Stephanie, why don't you get ChatGPT to like write your YouTube briefs? And I'm like, I did try it once and it was just horrendous. I was like, this doesn't sound like me at all. But hopefully, maybe it'll get better, and then that would save me so much time.
I think the dangers of it is losing yourself of composition, that ability to compose something that comes from your mind.
True. Very true, yeah.
And then
or like think.
Understanding what you're saying.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's so true.
I mean, there are studies now or research now that in school kids are, plagiarizing a lot of their research and all their homework. I think the time we grew up, the only plagiarism we had was photocopying something.
Yeah, like we didn't even have the internet hardly. But I can see why kids are utilizing AI, because I probably would have in school as well, because you don't want to be doing homework or studying for exams. You want to be out playing and being a kid. So I do get it, although it's not ideal because they still need to learn.
we just need good role models like to guide them along.
Mm,
You're not going to protect a child or even an adult from everything. It's just impossible. We can't really do that.
no.
So we have to do everything in moderation and hope, Sarah Connor doesn't come back.
Mm, yeah.
you know. So yeah, but no. Uh, when did you realize external beauty wasn't a form to fix internal wounds?
Um, so I think that external beauty definitely can help because when you feel good, like when you feel like you look good, it definitely impacts the way you feel about yourself, like internally as well. Like I know when I've got greasy hair and my skin's a mess and I'm just sat there in like my track pants working online, I don't feel as good as when I actually make the effort to wash my hair and put a bit of makeup on and like get out and about. But at the same time, like I'd say from my experience, like I look a lot like my biological father, who I only met when I was 20 and is not a very nice person. And so
Oh wow.
when I look in the mirror and I basically look like him with long hair, I'm like, that's not ideal. It makes me not like the way I look because I don't particularly like him. But that's not really like it is an external like it's about my external appearance to an extent, but the wound is like an inner wound. And so that's something I'm still trying to work towards and like deal with and get over that kind of trauma of abandonment and rejection. So it's kind of, I feel like it goes hand in hand. Like I guess you see these women that are like struggling with a lot of trauma, and the way they deal with it is by getting a lot of plastic surgery because they're trying to make themselves feel better. So like they'll change just about everything about themselves until they look like a caricature, like they don't even look human or like they
Yeah,
originally
exactly.
did. But they're not actually helping themselves. It's almost like a band-aid where what they really need to do is get some therapy and try and work through those traumas and work through whatever issues they have rather than trying to mask it externally.
Yeah. I think that also comes from inner strength to be willing to do the work because it's very dark, it's very ugly.
Mm.
You don't want to actually sometimes hold that mirror up. It's too traumatic to view. And some people just take, like you said, the easy way out and they kind of like change their whole external persona to make them feel good. So within themselves, they feel good as well.
Yeah, I just feel like it doesn't usually work. Like, and I feel for people like that because they're trying so hard to feel better, but they don't know how to go about it.
Yeah. Given your content is so much now aligned towards authenticity, I think you're calling out bullshit as it is, which is good.
Yeah,
A lot of
I
people
like
don't. Yeah, a lot of people don't want to listen to the truth. I myself was one of those people who were very sensitive, didn't want to listen to the truth, and I had to really sit with some of the hard truths and understand it's not personal. It's just somebody trying to help you see the light.
Yeah. I guess you're either ready to like hear the truth or not ready to hear the truth. And then sometimes what is true for me may not be true for someone else. And they'll be like, well, I had a totally different experience with this and this. So they think that I'm bullshitting.
No, I guess everyone's going to take it with a pinch of salt, right?
Yeah, exactly.
They're going to express how they feel, how they're feeling at that time. They're going to, not everyone's going to agree with you. And I, like myself, am a people pleaser. That I want everyone to like me all the time. I don't want to say anything wrong or say something out of context. But lately, within the last couple of years, I've begun to say how I feel. If something is not it's not weighing nicely with me, I'll say it. But I'm learning ways to say it, not just I just blurt it out and it'll just be a total a-hole out.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I kind of agree with you on that one. Like, on one hand, I do find that I've got people-pleasing tendencies and I don't want people to not like me. But then on the other hand, I'm like, if you filter yourself or you water yourself down or you try and make sure that everybody likes you, it's never going to work because, like, I don't like everyone. I'm sure you don't like everyone.
Exactly.
Like, nobody is liked
exactly.
universally.
That's what I say.
Yeah, and like you have to stand for something in life, and there's going to be people that don't agree with you, and that's just a fact of life.
Yeah, but we just have to keep living our authentic selves and do the best that we can. And I think I posted that today. It's just about, even if you show up, just stay disciplined and stay true to yourself. Even if you show up like even a little bit for yourself each day, it's a win.
Yeah,
because then that's how we stay That's how we stay grounded. I think a lot of people are now trying to find that. And for us that have kind of like have a little bit of a foothold in that space, it's just now I think it's our duty to help others as well.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, you shared a lot of your personal traumas, and now that you've established yourself as a major influencer for beauty brands, away from the camera. I know we've spoken about what does it look like, but what is there something else like you're building your brand now? Where do you see that brand going?
So we're still in well, to be fair, we've been working on it for a long time now, but it takes a long time because we're doing everything from scratch. But basically, our kind of ethos behind creating the brand is because, I guess, taking from my own like teenagehood, where I did feel really shit about myself, like physically, but makeup helped me kind of come out of my shell and gave me a bit more control over how I presented myself to the outside world. Because unfortunately, we don't get to choose how we're going to look. Like, we don't get to choose our nose or what we look like, or hair color, really, like naturally or anything like that. And unfortunately, sometimes you are going to be given looks that you don't really like, and if you'd had a choice, you wouldn't have chosen. But you can either turn to plastic surgery and change it, forever if you want to, and that's going to make you feel better, then go for it. But the reason I love makeup is because it does wash off at the end of the day, and you're not actually permanently changing anything about yourself. Because I guess one way I like to look at my own face, my own features, I said I look a lot like my dad, but also I can see that, my nose comes from my great grandfather, who was German, who was my my mum's grandfather. And I look a lot like my grandmother as well on my mother's side. And I really like those people. So like when I look in the mirror and I can see aspects of their faces on myself, it really helps with your self-love and self-acceptance. And like, I may not have chosen this nose if I'd been given a choice in the womb, but I wouldn't also want to change it with plastic surgery because I know who I got that nose from and I really respected him as a man.
Yeah.
So this is why I love makeup. I can contour my nose and make it look a little bit more how I like it to look, but I'll wash it off at the end of the day. And tomorrow I don't have to contour my nose at all if I don't want to. So I feel like makeup, it just gives you such a great way to kind of control your face and your appearance in a way that suits you. So it's like, we don't want to force women to adhere to the beauty standards. We want them to create their own standard of beauty that works with them and what they naturally have, but makes them feel good in the process.
Yeah. I mean, given the male presence now within the makeup space is also taking shape. Does your brand cater for that demographic as well?
I'd say our makeup, it's not particularly feminine, in the sense that like we've been talking to our graphic designer, and I'd say it's very androgynous. So I say women because I can see from my analytics on YouTube that like 98% of people that follow me are women. And I'm a woman, so I feel like I can empathize with them more because I've never been a man. But that sounded really weird. But you know what I mean?
No, it's true.
Yeah. But like the makeup we're creating, it's not glittery, it's not colorful. It's all about like sculpting and taking some control over your appearance. And like, because I've been a makeup artist for such a long time, and because I feel like I have kind of rebellious face, like it just does what it wants, I've developed all these these tricks and these tips and tools that don't actually exist on the market yet, that can be used by men, women, I was going to say dogs, probably not dogs, but anyone that wants to use them. Like they're not particularly like feminine beauty products. I wouldn't even like to call them beauty products as such. They're just kind of like tools to harness your appearance in the way that you want to.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this short break. Before we continue with today's episode, if you're enjoying it, if I could ask you for a small favor, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It will not only help the channel grow, but it will also allow me to bring you a lot more guests and a lot more experiences. Thank you. Back to the show. Yeah. I mean, we all kind of want to look good or look our best when we step out. And for
Yeah,
us,
exactly.
for myself, it's just going getting a haircut changes everything.
Yeah.
A fresh fade just makes you feel 10 foot tall. It doesn't matter what your appearance looks like, but a fresh haircut and a shave or
Yeah.
something just makes you feel good. I think it's the
Yeah, like
same thing, right?
my kid's dad, I shave his hair for him like every week because it grows so fast. But every time he's like got his new haircut, he comes out and I always joke, I'm like, oh, you look like a new woman. Because that's what we say to like each other after we've been to the hairdresser. And he's like, I feel like a new woman.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And it also gives you the confidence to go out and actually go about your day.
Yeah. Yeah, it definitely does.
Mm-hmm. And how did your spiritual journey influence your way you show up online and in real life?
So I don't know if I would consider myself that spiritual, but I do believe in God and I believe in a higher power and I pray every single night without fail. I think probably for me, the most important thing is to be grateful. So like when I say my prayers, I always make sure to thank for all the blessings I have because I have so many blessings and I just want to be like worthy of them and be deserving of those blessings and make sure that I'm making the most of them. But I'd say like I live in a town where there's a lot of like spiritual people. It's kind of known for that.
Okay.
And I wouldn't consider myself like one of them. Like there's a lot of drum circles that happen, a lot of yoga retreats and things like that. And I respect it. I just don't know very much about it. But for me, I'd say my spiritual journey would be more like praying and just being grateful and trying to just be deserving of all the good that I do have in my life.
I respect that. That's awesome because you know what works for you. And you're not always just punting. I feel there's like a lot nowadays of people trying to emphasize what is working, what doesn't work. And it's not a one size fits all kind of
True.
practice. Like for me, spirituality is being active. It's not just sitting still or mindfully in a Zen space. Yes, I advocate for a lot of Zen, but for me, Zen is being active. Like that.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like being active can actually quieten your mind more than if you were to sit there and meditate.
Yeah, because my mind is never quiet when it meditates. It's continuously busy.
Yeah, me too. I can't meditate for that reason. I'm just sitting there thinking, what am I going to make for dinner? Have I done that load of washing? What do I have to do for work?
Yeah, but it's just that practice that puts you in a good space. Even though you're not quiet, it's still that you've shown up for yourself to try and improve what you feel is can be beneficial going forward.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we need to really hone down on do what is feeling right for you at that time. If you feel like you want to play video games, play video games. If you feel like you want to be on social media, be on social media. If you feel like you want to take a walk, take a walk. But try and just be mindful that everything in moderation. Because once we get down that path of exceeding that moderation, that's when it becomes dangerous.
Yeah, that is true.
Do you feel that, given the feedback from your viewers, do you get that from them as well? That sometimes they just don't know when to stop consuming?
Maybe. I feel like most of us are we struggle with that because the apps are designed to keep you scrolling and to keep you on the app as long as possible. Like TikTok, for example, I'm not really on there. I tried to like it. It's not my thing. But I've read that TikTok as an app is like, you know how the videos are so short. It's designed to keep your attention and hold your attention. And you keep scrolling looking for something interesting that's going to keep holding your attention. And so before you know it, 40 minutes could have passed and you're like, oh crap, like I haven't done my work or I haven't done what I actually came on my phone to do, like send an email or make a phone call because you get distracted by these apps. I think we all kind of struggle with that to a degree and I'd say my audience is the same.
Yeah, I've been getting a lot of YouTube ads about procrastination and how, those tools to help you stop procrastinating.
I wonder if they actually work.
So maybe it's a sign. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, some of it is also just to, allow you and pay.
Yes, very,
spend your money.
Very
it's
true.
not needed.
No.
You've traveled quite extensively, right?
Well, I lived in Ireland for a long time. I've been to a few different countries, but I lived in Ireland for many, many years, still have a house there. My kid's dad is Irish. But I love it. Like, I mean, I'd say Ireland, like the culture's not that different from Australia, but the weather is, and the history is. So like, I love Ireland because there's castles and we don't have castles in Australia. And I think I've probably seen every castle in Ireland at this point. I did live in Scotland for a while when I was 21. That was interesting as well. Lived in Edinburgh and worked there. Loved that.
One of my favorite cities.
Yeah, the history is amazing. Like there's ghosts there. Like the place I used to work at was bloody haunted, which freaked all of us out. But it's just like, I don't know. I feel like I would rather live in a place for a while if I can than just travel there and then leave. Because otherwise I feel like it's more like a holiday. But like some of my best friends for life still live in Ireland. And then I'd say the rest are in Sydney because I'm from Sydney. But actually it's kind of hard that way because you feel like torn between two places that are on opposite sides of the world. So it's tricky.
Yeah. Is Australia home base for you? That's where you feel the most
for now,
most grounded.
Anyway. Yeah.
Okay. I guess most of your childhood footprint and your upbringing and your friends and family is mostly in Australia.
Yeah. Well, I don't have much family, but my childhood friends are all in Sydney, and my friends that I made like as an adult are all in Ireland. So yeah, split between the two countries, which it sucks because the plane ride is so long. It's like 24 hours and I hate flying. So it's not ideal. I'm waiting for teleportation to be invented.
My wife says the same thing. It's like, I wish we can just snap our fingers and just, that's it. Eliminate all the garbage of traveling and anxieties and lines and crying and all of that stuff.
Yeah, no, I hate airplanes so much.
Support is very important when you're going through a journey of, building up such a brand, and, who's there for you?
I'm really lucky in that I've got like really great friends. So my kid's dad, he's amazing, great support. My friends, I'd say, are more like family than friends. So I do have a lot of support. Work-wise, my agent, Helen, she's amazing. And my business partner, who I'm working on the cosmetic line with, Yasmin, she's also a powerhouse. So I'm really lucky in that I do have like a lot of support. So I certainly can't complain there.
Shout out to Helen. Thank you for making all this happen.
Yeah.
No, it's important to have those support structures because sometimes we feel alone when we're going through these journeys, and you just need that soundboard to help you along, knowing that what you're doing is purposeful. Because sometimes it does get exhausting. I don't know if you feel that way as well, because sometimes you just feel, why am I doing this? There's no traction. Sometimes it feels like you're just putting in all this hard work for nothing. But then there comes a moment when your why makes so much sense.
Yeah. And I feel like you have to kind of put in the work even when there's no traction, because otherwise you'll never get to the point in your work that you want to get to. Like we all have to start from the bottom and work our way up in life, really. So you just have to keep going even when it feels like slow or like nothing's happening, because eventually like you will break through.
Yeah. And it comes in a moment when it's unexpected. If you're not chasing it, it'll come to you.
It's weird. That's with most things in life, isn't it? What you chase runs away. Isn't that the saying?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you've been quite candidly open about, how you feel about certain things, and, you're just being yourself. And that's all that really matters in life. We just got to be ourselves continuously and keep showing up for ourselves authentically. Because once we start becoming impersonators of something that we're not, I think that's when we start to lose ourselves.
Yes. And I feel like people can always tell when you're not being yourself, or when you're not being authentic, or when you're trying to be someone else. I feel like people can tell like intuitively when you're not being yourself.
Especially now when you're trying to spread a message out on social media, because you want to get your words right. You want to get the correct syntax or context out, and you kind of like record yourself 3-4 times before you get it out.
I spend so much time on these bloody videos because I spend probably 3 days to a week, like planning each video, and I write out like a script so that I don't just babble away and just, because otherwise I'll just go off on a tangent. But then when I'm editing, like you said, I'll say the same sentence like 10 times because I stuff up my words. And so the editing process takes me such a long time because I'm just repeating myself over and over trying to say that one sentence correctly. But yeah, I can't remember what your question was now, but that's an annoying part of content creation.
Yeah. No, it comes down to myself as well now, at least with teleprompts and scripts, it helps. Even if it's just a note.
One of those.
Even if it was just a note, it just helps you then focus. Oh, okay, this is what I need to touch base on. And it helps. I think going in my previous years, I would never actually write things down and I would forget what I was going to say or what I needed to do. But starting this podcast journey, being a bit professional, it helps when you're trying to, even if we're just being authentically, we're not really going against talking according to the script or the questions, whatever it is. If it's organic, it helps, but you just need some form of guidance to help you go along. And I feel that in life as well, we just need some form of direction to know that, okay, this is where we're going. Yeah, we might detour now and then, but that's okay. We know exactly where we're going because like Google Maps or Apple Maps, eventually you'll find your way home.
Yeah, and you can take a detour and you'll still end up where you were meant to be.
Yeah. Are you hard on yourself when you don't get it right?
Yes. But I think I just expect a lot from myself and I know I'm capable of a lot. So I do tend to be hard on myself, but also then I'm pretty lucky in that I can reason with myself and be like, well, hold on, like you did your best. Like you're not sorry, I shouldn't swear. You're not Superwoman.
That's
like,
okay.
You can only do, That's okay. You can only do what you can
Express how you feel.
Yeah, but I do tend to be quite hard on myself, but I think you just need to be able to balance that. Like, I feel like if you're not hard enough on yourself, then you may not achieve what you actually want to achieve, but you also need to balance it out and be like, no, I know I did my best in that aspect. And like, you can't really expect more from yourself than your best, even if it's not perfect.
Yeah, I love that. Just do your best. It's what we can do. I think perfection is such a, I would say, a derogatory term in terms of how we live our life. I don't mean that disrespectfully to anybody who's trying to reach perfection. Good luck on that journey as well. I think you can, if you want to, that's up to you. But it's not realistic in my perspective or my opinion. And I just want to put it out there. It's not something that I can achieve, perfectionist, but perfection for me, it would just be doing my best, showing up. Even if I get it wrong, it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't think humans are meant to be perfect in any aspect of life because I feel like it's like you said, it's not really humanly achievable. And like, what is perfection anyway?
I think perfection is in the eye of the beholder, I think.
Yeah, true. That's a good point.
Sometimes we come up with these thoughts on the spur of the moment.
Need to note them down.
Yeah. I'm writing it down right now. And we live in such a chaotic society right now where I think we arm wrestling or tug of war between what it means to be feminine and what it means to be stepping into your manhood, where both sides are now tiptoeing into each side of yourself, because we both have feminine energy and we both have man energy or male energy. And I think now it's about harnessing both and accepting that we do have both sides of it. And the nurturing side, males do have nurturing sides, and females do have the male energy to step into their power. And I feel like sometimes we get too engrossed or too much of a tug of war of what's actually who's right and who's wrong.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of content, especially aimed at like females recently, that's telling us that we need to be more feminine or more in our feminine energy and do away with our masculine energy. But I feel like you kind of need both in this day and age. And actually, I was laughing because a friend of mine the other day told me I had like masculine energy. And at first I was like, what? I was insulted. But then I was like, no, you know what? He's probably right. I do probably have masculine energy. And I feel like maybe I veer more towards my masculine energy than than feminine energy because I am like very headstrong and determined and I guess outspoken in a lot of ways and a bit like bullish in what I want to do. But I feel like at different times of your life, you might need to like harness different energy. So like when you're building something, like I've got so much going on at the moment. I'm trying to like work on this business and raise my kids and make money. And I feel like I need my masculine energy for all that. And maybe when things settle down, then maybe I can live my soft feminine life. But I feel like that might be a bit boring for me. I don't know. I don't know if I've got it in me.
I mean, you do show up with your feminine side when you're with your kids or when you're with yourself. I don't think you should be hard on yourself in that way. I think just let it flow, let it be what it is. And when the time is, you'll feel it. You'll know when you're in which energy, and that's okay. Because not every day you're going to be the same.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's another good point. I feel like every day, like I guess you draw on different energies and depending on what you need to get done in that day.
Yeah. What's something womanhood has taught you that no one has warned you about?
Probably just how hard it is to juggle everything. I think especially when you're a mother, like having children and trying to raise them. Do you have kids?
No, I don't.
Okay, so when you're a mother or a parent, like it's so all-encompassing because you're literally responsible for other human beings that rely solely on you for everything in life, which is a lot of pressure. And then at the same time, I guess as a woman, you're trying to, forge a way in business and create stuff. And the business world tends to be very like male-dominated as well. And I feel like you need to be on your A game in order to kind of like, I guess, be assertive in those aspects. Whereas if you're already a man, I guess that just maybe comes naturally to you, or you already have that respect because you are a male. But being a woman and trying to like juggle everything is very difficult. And I have shocking time management skills. Like I don't think I'm ever going to have good time management. It's just not in me. So that probably makes life harder than it has to be because I tend to leave everything to the last minute and then I'm stressed because I've left it to the last minute. But I guess if I got better at that and had better organizational skills, life would be a lot smoother. But I feel like, just women, I feel like we take on a lot and you don't really realize it when you're a kid until you are an adult and you're like, oh crap, this is a lot.
Do you find in Australia there's a balancing act now between fathers and moms, like handling both sides of responsibilities?
So, like, I'm just thinking about the people that I know. I'd say the majority of the people I know in Australia are kind of like they're in co-parenting situations. And so they do take on like equal roles with the childcare and usually both parents are working. So again, they've got their own juggling act going on, but I feel like it's a pretty good, like I'd say it's like evenly split. Like the dads I know are very hands-on with their kids and so are the mums, and the mums are usually working as well. And yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we have changed in time. Things are different from when our parents were parents and we were kids, where my dad was the sole provider, my mom was a stay-at-home mom. So she looked after everything domestically, and my dad, was the financial bearer of it all. And nowadays, like you said, both parents are working. I had this, my previous guest, one of my previous guests, she teaches yoga to kids. And, she tries to bring kids like to be a bit more present. And she's also like juggling those kind of things where she's now trying to educate as well as being a mom. So I can understand where she's coming from as well. But dads always had a responsibility. They were just never practicing it. If you know what I'm saying. And it became cultural norms.
Yeah. I mean, when I was growing up, my mum and stepdad both worked. So I guess that's always been like modeled to me that it's normal for women to work. But yeah, I'd say like the traditional gender norms aren't really so much of a thing here in Australia. Obviously, there's people that do follow that and it works for them. But I'd say the majority of people I know, like the mum is working, the dad is working, even if she's not working like full time and she's still trying to raise the kids the majority of the time, like she'll still be doing something, even if it's just a hobby that like a little side hustle that makes her a bit of money.
Yeah, we all got to have some form of side hustle. It's the economy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's expensive.
Yeah, it's insane. I mean, even just trying to go out for dinner, like it's crazy.
Yeah, I've heard Canada's very expensive. Australia's very expensive too.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen an increase of about 30-40% in just prices of just your basic groceries. It's crazy.
Yeah, Ireland's the same. Actually, I was chatting to my friend and she was building a house, and after 2020, when like the whole world shut down, she said like prices then have like almost doubled, and like people can't finish building their houses because like the cost of bricks and wood has like doubled, and now the houses just sitting there like unfinished.
It's insane because we're all just trying to just love.
Yeah.
And society just adds pressures onto you where, dude, I'm just trying to make a living, man. I'm just trying to get by.
Exactly. I know, right?
There's a previous guest of mine. I just like to mention it to you, Caitlin Pulowski. She's also a content creator on YouTube with over 100,000, and she also touches on these unrealistic expectations of how social media and unrealistic living is portrayed, and she was all consumed by consumerism. She was one that would love that lifestyle, but she got to a stage of burnout and she couldn't do it anymore. And was that a stage for you as well, that you got to a stage where you said, no, I can't really do this anymore and I got to start advocating now?
In the sense of like over consuming, or
no, well, you got to a stage in your life when you think, okay, it's time now to shift what kind of information or how my online presence is perceived.
I think it just had to happen because I could see like social media in the online world and influencers was just getting crazy. Like it was going bonkers. And I was like, this is not reality. And I was like, why aren't more people talking about it? I think it was when I was speaking to like a young girl that I knew, and she was saying that she wanted to lose weight and she wanted to get plastic surgery and she wanted to change like basically everything about herself because she was comparing herself to influencers. And in fact, the influencer she was comparing herself to, I actually knew in real life. And I knew that what she looked like on Instagram, she was still absolutely drop dead gorgeous in real life, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't the same. And I was like, this is getting out of hand. And so I think that's when I started making the first videos, because I was kind of making it for her in a way, because like she won't listen to me in real life because she's like, you don't know what you're talking about. But I was like, if she watches the content, and like it's one thing to tell someone something, it'll tend to go in one ear and out the other. Whereas if you actually like show proof, like, so with my videos, I really try and make it a point. And this is probably another reason why they take me so long to put together, is because I'm trying to find like evidence to back up what I'm saying, like whether it be like little TikTok snippets or pictures, or I'll compare like the Getty image to like the edited one that made it to Instagram, for example, just so girls can see like it's not reality. And like I just feel like it has to be talked about more, because it's getting really unhealthy out there. It's unhealthy for the influencers themselves, because then they're trying to hold themselves to this like unattainable level of perfection that they think that they need to meet to sustain their careers or to sustain their audience. But it's like, you can't do that because you're just a human being. And it's not good for your audience because they're also trying to be like you, but even you're not like you. So I feel like that's kind of why I got into it. And I saw that my audience was resonating with the content. And I was like, well, if you guys like it and I like making it, let me make more content on this topic. But then I think I get really bored if I make the same content over and over and over. Like I was just going to ask you,
how do you stay motivated?
Yeah,
keep
like
creating content.
I'll lose my motivation to even like research the topic, and I'll find that like a video that should take me a week to create will take me a month because I'm just not into it. So I still have to like balance that with, I kind of like to think that I'm making content on anything that pertains to women at the moment, and that can pertain to men as well. But like things like relationships and finances and beauty standards and self image, because it's just I want to be like their hype girl. Like I want to make them feel good about themselves. And I don't want to be like, you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that and you can't do this, and like shaming people, because I feel like if you're not careful, it can come across that way.
Yeah.
It's more like I just want to present to them like the way I see it, and this is why I see it that way. And then they have their choice whether to take on board what I've said or whether they'll go the opposite way. Because we all have free will.
Yeah.
And we all have different experiences, and we'll look at things through different lenses based on like our life experiences. But yeah, I feel like social media is such like a minefield, and it can get really crazily unhealthy if you aren't looking at it through like the lens of reality.
Okay, this has been on my mind quite a lot lately. And I'm asking people this question because I'm trying to get some form of feedback from it. Do you feel society is transitioning somewhat back to pre-digital age
No.
in terms of no? Okay.
No, I think some people
Okay.
are trying to maybe do that, but I feel like if anything, it's like with the rise of AI, like we were talking about, I feel like it's never going to happen. I feel like some people are rebelling against it, and they're like, no, I'm going to go and buy like 10 acres of land and grow my own food, and my kids aren't going to watch screens. And I commend them for that. Like part of me would love to do that. But I feel like as a whole, society, like, is only going to get worse. Sorry to be a pessimist.
Okay. No, that's cool. It's your opinion. I mean, thank you for sharing that. I appreciate that, your honesty. I feel like it's a bit of both. People are using digital with going back. Like you said, in moderation, people are stepping away from the technology and just going out in nature, or going out on bikes or whatever it is that they're doing without technology on them. I think that's kind of like where my mindset is going.
Yeah, you could be right. You know, like I suppose there's a lot of people I know that, like, we grew up in the era of MySpace, which I loved. Did you have MySpace?
No, I didn't.
No,
I didn't have
I think it was either MySpace or
I started
Bebo.
with Mixit. No, what did we have? Just plain internet. I think we started off with Mixit and stuff.
I don't know
But
what
I'm
that
not
is,
that old.
but we had these MySpace profiles. So like I feel like a lot of people that are my age are like, we didn't have social media. It's like, well, we did. We had MSN and we had MySpace, and then came along Facebook, and we're all crazy
Yes.
for Facebook. But pretty much everyone I know in real life is like they still have their profile, but they never go on it anymore. Like they don't really have Instagram anymore. So I guess, yeah, I suppose you're right. A lot of people are kind of like over it all, and they just are stepping back because they're like, what's the point? Like, I don't actually want everyone keeping up with my life. I'm not going to post status updates or post all my pictures. I'd probably do the same, to be honest. If it wasn't like my job, I probably wouldn't bother posting on Instagram or anything like that. Interesting.
Yeah.
Now I feel like I need to think about this more.
No, it's just something that I've been starting to observe within myself as well. So I just started having a discussion with anyone I meet. I'd be, do you guys feel this way? And it's good to get people's perspective on it, and maybe get them start thinking about it, and also start, you plant the seed. Okay, maybe I should do the same. Just start building a bit of a healthy habit in terms of the other day. Sunday evening, we went out for a walk, and both my wife and I, we left all our electronics at home, and we just just the house key, and that was it. Nothing else. And it also, you see so much more because you start observing things. You start, I think you just put more calmer, but more, you're not fidgeting so much. And I think that's kind of like something we'll probably do now more going forward. So 21, they say 21 days to create a habit.
Is it 21 days? Oh, yeah.
Well,
no, I think you're right.
nowadays
I think with having kids as well, like I'm always very conscious when I'm like scrolling on my phone doing nothing, and my kid is like, Mom, and I'm like, what? And then I'm like, oh my God, like Stephanie, like get a hold of yourself, put the damn phone away and like focus on your child. Yeah, it's a good point you bring up.
Yeah, we're always trying to learn, and hence why if we don't start to see things or have this kind of conversations or bring it up, it's never going to happen. And
yeah,
I think that's why I started going on these talks. And I was asked the question. I had an interview on Friday, and the interviewer asked me, "What does success mean to you? Is it the likes? Is it the reactions?" And I'm like, no. For me, success would be to allow somebody to share their story and get something that they were feeling heavy on off their chest. That would be a win for me, or a success. And I think that's where I kind of like rewired my brain into thinking other people's opinion of me matters.
Mm-hmm.
So hence why I started like really thinking about how I actually live. So these are the kind of questions I ask.
Yeah. No, I love it. I think it's important to talk about these things.
Yeah. And in terms of community now, who's your community now that they can count on you and you can count on them?
So I guess you never really know who your community is bar what your analytics will show you, which is like their age, the demographic, where they live, and their gender. But I think your vibe attracts your tribe, which sounds really like kind of corny
That's
to say,
cool.
but it's true. I
It
feel
rhymes.
yeah, I feel like I guess my content, I always describe myself as I'm similar to Vegemite. Do you know what Vegemite is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you either love Vegemite or you hate Vegemite. Um, I feel like I'm kind of like that. Like I can see from my comments on YouTube, people either really like agree with what I've said and they're like, I resonate with this and like, I love the way you deliver this content, or I like your personality, or just the way you come across. And then other people are like, do you ever shut up? And like, I hate everything you say. I hate everything about you. And I'm like, well, you don't actually have to watch my content. Like there's plenty of other videos on YouTube. You don't have to be watching me if you don't like me. Like don't hate watch me. That's not good for you or me. But I think I'm really lucky in that my audience is, I'd say the overwhelming majority of them are so supportive and just like the best crowd of people. And I feel like they truly want to like hype each other up, and they want to make each other feel happy and feel confident. And I just hope that, but this is one of the things I pray when I'm praying every night, is like, I'm so grateful that I even get to do this as a job. And I'm so grateful that my audience found me and that they support me and they watch my content. And so I pray because I'm like, please help me to make content that actually like provides value to them and like helps them in some way. Cause I don't want to spend my time making like meaningless content. What's the point? Like I may as well just go and work a 9 to 5 if I'm going to do that. Like I want to make content and spend my time making a positive impact on people. And I know it's not going to be a positive impact on everyone because, again, like we said, like it's just not possible for everyone to like you, or everyone to like your message, or even like the way you present information to them. But the ones that do like me and they do like what I talk about, like I just want to make sure that the content I'm providing them actually gives them value, because otherwise I'm like, I don't deserve their support if I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I think that's a bit harsh on yourself.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, you're doing what you feel is making an impact, and all that. That's all that matters. You're true to yourself. You're true to your voice, to your message, and like you said, somebody will resonate with it, and somebody won't, and that's okay. Move on. Like you said, there's billions of videos on YouTube. You can watch cat videos, playing with balls or something. Cool. Move on. But it's not a reflection. Yeah, it's just how I learned something, that those kind of people are only just reflecting of what they're actually feeling inside.
Yeah.
They're unable to work through it. So
Yeah.
you shouldn't take it to heart in that sense. Nowadays, it's like you said, but it's still very difficult to hear it and see those things. It's not nice. You still feel something because we're human beings at the end of the day.
Exactly. Yeah, and when you got like 100 people yelling at you on the daily, it's like, oh my God. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why? What did I do?
Airplane mode.
Yeah.
Off. Bye.
Yes. Exactly that. Yep.
And in terms of, I know this is a broad word, legacy. What do you hope for people listening to this podcast to take away from your story?
I guess just to, I like to think that we are, to an extent, in control of our own lives. So we're not always in control of what happens to us or what we experience, but we're in control of how we deal with it and how we kind of move forward in our lives. So I feel like it's very easy sometimes to find yourself in like this victim mentality. But if you get stuck there, like you're probably never going to live the life that you want or that you deserve. And so I feel like I don't talk about like everything that's happened to me in my life or like all my trauma. I don't want to trauma dump on my audience, but I do want to be like a good example of like bad things can happen to you and you can still work towards finding like a positive outcome from that. Like maybe you learned a lesson from that, or maybe it's taught you resilience or how to stand on your own 2 feet and you might not have gained those skills otherwise. And I guess for me, like I try and take anything negative that happens to me and put like a positive spin on it, which again sounds really like I don't like this whole toxic positivity. Like I feel like sometimes if you want to wallow in misery, like let yourself wallow in misery for like a day or two and kind of get it out of your system. And then it's like, right, no, come on, let's pick it up now. Let's keep moving, which is what I try and do. So I guess my legacy, I just want people to I was going to say love themselves, but again, that just sounds so cliche. And I feel like that doesn't really mean anything in this day and age, but to appreciate themselves and value themselves, like internally and externally. Like there's nothing wrong with wanting to feel beautiful on the outside because let's be real, like pretty privilege is a thing. And I feel like it's been a thing ever since the bloody Egyptians. Like we saw it with Cleopatra and the black eyeliner. Like it's always been a thing and I don't think it's going anywhere. But not to let it consume you and not to try and alter yourself and what you are like genetically blessed with to try and look the same as like what we're told we should look like. And again, with your personality, like you don't have to try and like filter yourself or water yourself down to make other people like you. Like people will like you when you are yourself because everybody likes authenticity and you can bond better with someone that's being authentically themselves, even if you don't agree with everything they say. I feel like that was a very wishy-washy answer, but I hope it made sense.
Now I'll finish it off. Stephanie Lange, badass mom, makeup artist, influencer, speaking the truth.
So you just gave me a big head. Thanks. And you pronounced my last name correctly. I feel like everyone calls me Stephanie Lange, and I'm like, it's Lange.
No. Yeah, it's Lange.
Lange, that's right.
We grew up in an age where pronunciation and phonics were taught.
Yeah. That's funny. Thank you so much for having me on. It was great to talk to you.
You're welcome. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you taking the time, and I hope whoever's listening, you're walking away not just inspired, but reminded that every human and every image has a story. If this episode spoke to you, share it with somebody who needs it. Subscribe, leave a review for more stories that bring you back to presence. And until the next one, stay zen, guys. Thank you so much.